Today on Winthrop Close Up, how the hardships of the protests in Ukraine affect us here at Winthrop.
And Coach Kelsey and the men's Eagles invited some special guests to their last game of the season. Find out what makes them so special. Scandal, being Mary Jane may promote more harm towards society than entertainment.
From the Department of Mass Communication at Winthrop University, you're watching Winthrop Close Up.
Welcome to Winthrop Close Up. I'm Daisy Burrows.
And I'm Stephanie Harris. As tensions between the U.S. and Russia heat over the crisis in the Ukraine, Chris Gaitan tells us how it affects us here at Winthrop.
Since the Ukraine Revolution began late last year, the country has been in a crisis, from reorganizing the country's government to Putin's threats of a Russian invasion. Winthrop senior Alina Shulpizhok is the only Ukrainian student on campus, and she wants the Ukraine to stay free.
I just want people to appreciate the freedom that they have here and in the United States, how I appreciate what I have now. And I just want Ukraine to be safe and Ukrainian people to be safe, and so government will solve all their problems as soon as possible.
The eastern part of the Ukraine mainly speaks Russian and wants to join Russia. On March 6th, the island of Crimea was the first area of Ukraine to secede and asked to join Russia. Russia's reason for invading the Ukraine is to acquire the eastern Russian-speaking area of the country.
Nothing is neat and tidy. There is some legal pretext for perhaps Crimea breaking off, the way, for example, Scotland may break off the United Kingdom. But it's also true that there's been pressure put on by the Russian government, which does not, shall we say, make that an objective decision.
Russia is said to act like a bully by threatening to invade the Ukraine, though one Winthrop student thinks differently.
I really feel like it's being blown out of proportion by a lot of media outlets. There is an issue with it, but I've heard a lot of threats of like World War III and all kinds of stuff, the U.S. invading. With the current situation, there's not really that threat.
Despite what is currently going on in the country, things will hopefully begin to improve. Chris Gaitan, Winthrop Close Up.
The Humane Society of York County is scratching at the heels of something trendy. I went to find out how Broadway inspired its latest event.
Oh my goodness, it's been a great success, which is wonderful. There's been so many people coming in.
People from all around Rock Hill and Fort Mill are shopping at Possibilities. The thrift store is used to raise money for the York County Humane Society.
All the money made today will go to help the animals at the shelter. Their food, the vetting, any medical needs they may have, and any training needs they may have. So it's all a good thing.
The Humane Society hopes to turn a good thing into a great thing by pulling inspiration from a hit Broadway musical.
We named it the Jellicle Ball after cats, and so we asked everybody to donate all their spring and summer clothing and pocketbooks and purses. One shopper says she's really impressed about the support being given to the Humane Society. A portion of this event's proceeds go to help shelter animals just like these.
It's amazing that the Humane Society was doing this, and this was such a good idea because this is the first time they've done this.
With a ratio of 3 cats to every dog, the Humane Society wants to increase the awareness of all potential pet adopters. If you would like to volunteer at the Humane Society or adopt a pet of your own, call the telephone number on your screen.
During this time of the year, it is not uncommon to hear the phrase, "I gave it up for Lent." Adam Bolin tells us what Lent is all about.
His grace, these are ashes which we put on.
Lent is a time when Christians fast for 40 days in order to prepare for Easter. Many people who participate in Lent give up meat because it resembles how Jesus gave up his flesh. However, people participating in Lent are allowed to eat fish.
For Lent, I give up red meat, so I eat a lot of fish at McDonald's.
During the Lent period, McDonald's advertises their fish sandwich to attract Christian and Catholic customers.
Chick-fil-A and Wendy's are also advertising a fish sandwich.
While many give up meat, others give up some obscure things.
For Lent, I gave up Facebook because I just want to see if I could go without it. because the internet's such a big part of people's lives, and I don't want to live that way.
Some of the main things people give up are alcohol, sweets, and fast food. The Bible does not mention the custom of Lent. However, repentance and mourning in ashes is found in several verses throughout the Bible. Adam Bolin, Winthrop Close Up.
Coming up on Close Up, who has Rock Hill's stomach grumbling?
And the father of the Sandy Hook shooter has broken his silence.
What is the End It movement and why should you care? I'll tell you coming up next.
Welcome to the News Center. I'm Chris Gaitan, a Malaysian passenger jet with more than 200 people on board, including 3 Americans, has vanished into the skies over Southeast Asia. Investigators are no closer to explaining how a large plane could disappear into thin air, but do not think it was an act of terrorism. A large-scale search involving boats and planes from a range of countries continues at sea. Russian President Vladimir Putin defended the breakaway moves by the pro-Russian leaders of Crimea in conversations with 2 world leaders. Putin spoke with the German chancellors and the British Prime Minister. Tensions have been mounting now that the Moscow-backed regional parliament voted to leave Ukraine for Russia. Despite differences of opinion over what is happening on the ground, the Kremlin stated there was consensus on the need to de-escalate tensions and normalize the situation. 32-year-old Ebony Wilkinson was charged with 3 counts of attempted murder and abuse. The woman drove her minivan into the ocean at Daytona Beach, Florida, with her 3 children inside. Bystanders jumped into action, running to the rescue the children from the vehicle, which was bobbing in the surf. After her arrest, the children were taken into protective custody. Authorities are still seeking a motive for the woman's actions. Peter Lanza, the father of Sandy Hook shooter Adam Lanza, has broken silence, saying, "With hindsight, I know Adam would have killed me in a heartbeat if he had the chance." Lanza says he knew his son was a problem, but he was difficult to treat. Peter Lanza says he's haunted by his son, dreaming of him nightly, detailing one nightmare of being hunted like one of his son's victims. A comment let Winthrop's basketball coach reach out to the family of a Sandy Hook victim. "I went to get the details.
I don't know what needs to be done. I'm not smart enough to know what needs to be done. Okay?
Winthrop men's basketball coach Pat Kelsey gained a lot of attention in the media back in December 2012 after a comment he made about the Sandy Hook shooting in the post-game press conference. His comment was, "And I'm going to give them the biggest hug and the biggest kiss I've ever given them. And there are 20 families in Newtown, Connecticut that are walking into a pink room with a bunch of teddy bears with nobody laying in those beds. And it's tragic." His speech allowed him to befriend the Kowalski family, whose 7-year-old son, Chase, was one of the victims in the Sandy Hook shooting. On March 1st, the Kowalski family were the Winthrop men's Eagles guests of honor for their last home game of the season. All the players wore the names of Sandy Hook victims on the back of their jerseys.
In a way, it brings it back, but it's so special that everybody can find it in their heart to make sure that every one of those kids are remembered. And you know, to have a senior guy represent Chase, it was really special.
They'd have to speak to that, but I thought it was a pretty special moment, and our players were so glad to have him here. And I told them from this point forward, forever, they're a member of the Winthrop basketball family, and that's what we are. We're a family.
Kowalskis have said that they see Winthrop University as a new family, and Winthrop has been very accepting.
I just want to thank them for giving me the opportunity to actually wear his name on the back of my jersey. And I have a daughter, so I couldn't imagine like just going through them. They're so strong, and I'm just thankful that they let me wear his name on the back of my jersey.
It's great to see that the Kowalskis have their new Winthrop family behind them. To help the Kowalskis spread Chase's legacy, check out the Chase Michael Anthony Kowalski Sandy Hook Memorial Foundation online. Back to you, Stephanie.
Thank you, Chris. With the city of Charlotte being Rock Hill's northern neighbor, Rock Hill businesses are expanding. One Alabama-born business is getting in on the action. Reporter Harrison Garvin takes a bite at this new restaurant.
With the snip of a ribbon, Rock Hill residents welcomes a new restaurant, Catfish Junction.
When we looked at Charlotte, we looked at Rock Hill, and Rock Hill, the community and the environment and the people just seemed great, and we felt like it was a great fit for our concept.
Even though Rock Hill is growing in size with restaurants, the general manager, Renee Dietz, felt that the Catfish Junction would set itself aside from all the other restaurants.
The fact that we roll over and not just do fish. We do Creole, there's gumbo on the menu, we have a lot of other choices rather than just traditional fish.
The Catfish name is known throughout the Southeast, but employers feel that their secret weapon is the hush puppies.
Rightly so. The hush puppies are one of the things we're famous for, so when she recommended it, we stuck with it.
Catfish Junction won't be the last restaurant new to the Rock Hill community. Harrison Garvey, Winthrop Close Up.
Next on Winthrop Close Up, notice a lack in Winthrop's NPHC organizations. Stay tuned to find out why this may be happening. Known as the Divine Nine, NPHC organizations on campus have been diminishing over the past few years. Reporter Melissa Nobles goes to find out how the council went from 9 to 4.
The lack of NPHC organizations on campus has been more than noticeable, arousing conversations and questions among students.
The status of the Musar chapter on Winthrop's campus is suspended. The chapter was suspended by the national office for allegations of hazing.
Alpha Kappa Alpha is one of many inactive and suspended chapters on Winthrop's campus, this limiting the options for prospective Greek students.
So if you don't abide by those rules, per school rules and the national rules of each organization, you can be, inactive off of a campus.
But the disappearance of these organizations on campus has left the remaining NPHC organizations to hold a heavier weight.
Kind of harder as one of the fewer organizations that are still left on campus, because we feel like it's more weight on our shoulders to do more events and stuff like that.
Even though these organizations cannot be active on campus, the members still manage to serve their community, which is what their organizations were founded upon.
True Gold, one of Winthrop University's newest organizations, is preparing for its first annual pageant. But this pageant isn't like any other. True Gold hopes to promote student unity throughout the campus. One way they intend to reach this goal is to host the first annual Mr. and Mrs. Garnet and Gold.
Don't expect your normal pageant wear, casual wear. Don't expect your normal flow of events. It's going to be something totally new and totally different.
Students are required to return an application along with a recommendation from a Winthrop faculty member. The pageant takes place on April 26th at Tillman Auditorium, which gives contestants several weeks to prepare their talents and wow the judges. We wish them all the best.
We believe that we will win. The Winthrop women's basketball team did just that. The Lady Eagles defeated High Point 87-74 to claim their first Big South Conference championship in school history. The Lady Eagles also advanced to the NCAA Women's Division I basketball tournament, which is another first in the program's history. The team will find out next week who they will play against in the first round of the tournament. Go Eagles!
Up next on Close Up,
are retro video games gaining popularity? Find out how this man used these clubs to make his way from America's Got Talent to Winthrop University.
Welcome to Arts and Entertainment. I'm Cameron Powell. Miss your Nintendo and Game Boy systems? You may want to reconsider enjoying your old school gaming. Reporter Adam Boland tells us how these nostalgic items can burn a hole in your pocket.
With age comes wisdom, even for video games.
Video games are starting to get to the point where they're like 15, 20 years old for the major ones, and they're just becoming more collectible, so the price is going up with demand.
Just like other collectibles such as comic books and baseball cards, eBay sellers are raising retro video game prices and setting new trends. In 2008, the average price of a Nintendo Entertainment System game, also known as NES, was $8. Now the average game is 3 times as much.
I think it's ridiculous. These games have been out forever, and I don't see why the prices are skyrocketing.
It's just kind of a consequence, I feel like, of how popular it's getting, really.
Recently, a rare Nintendo game cartridge called the Nintendo World Championships sold on eBay for over $17,000. Recently, another copy has popped up on eBay and the seller is asking for $30,000.
We had a complete in-box little Samson for NES, complete in-box maybe $1,200, and then we have a complete in-box surprise at Dino Peak for $2,200 complete, which is insane. It's not even a fun game.
If you want to get your hands on a retro video game, it can come at a steep price. Adam Bolin, Winthrop Close Up.
While video games may be high in price, the latest popular television shows keep viewers' adrenaline and controversy high. Reporter Stephanie Harris shows close up how these scandalous shows are viewed by students.
You're married. Don't you? Are you crazy?
No, I'm not.
No. Every time we kissed, every time we made love, every promise you made me.
The Association of Ebonites hosted an event where students were able to openly discuss the hot topic of cheating in today's media. Clips from shows like Scandal and Being Mary Jane that have African American women as the main character were shown at the start of the event to help start the controversial discussions.
I do love Scandal, and I do like the controversy that goes on in today's shows. It's actually really entertaining, and I wanted to hear some about what other people had to say about that.
The association wanted those in attendance to focus on how African Americans are portrayed in these shows and if they agree with those portrayals. Students could text in their votes during the event to questions such as, why do you think that primarily African American women are the only ones that play the role of the side chick? The discussion became very heated once these questions were posed because not everyone agreed with each other.
I told them ahead of time, if the question gets too out of hand, you raise your hand, you kind of steer the question back to where it's supposed to go. So in a sense, you cover your ground and you have like other people you need in the background just to help the facilitator kind of ease the crowd down.
Once the discussions were back on track, students were able to come to the conclusion that while shows like Scandal did not represent women and African American women well, that everyone will still rush home on Mondays at 10 to see what happens next. Stephanie Harris, Winthrop Close Up.
These hot topics aren't the only things causing an interesting conversation. Professor Michael Lipscomb kicked off the Breast Symposium with his research on breastfeeding rights in America.
And we just saw it as such a point of connection between two different departments, between political science, arts and sciences, and the arts, and how much we share, and to formalize an agreement, an event where we would partake in our shared ideas at least once a year.
And as soon as I start talking like that, I'm going to hear from people saying, isn't it natural to understand the breast as a sexual object?
The breast Symposium will be composed of research by 3 different professors, a guest artist, and a production from the Department of Theater and Dance, all based around the breast. Juggling meets comedy through a British entertainer who worked his way through the nation's largest talent show. Reporter Daisy Burrows takes us to meet the unconventional performer.
I'm pretty sure he has exciting days every day doing this and getting paid to make people laugh and entertain people.
Roberto Avalos and his committee are responsible for bringing British comedic juggler Nick Pike to Winthrop University.
He's very awesome. He would juggle like pins and balls. He normally does fire stuff, but we can't do that here.
Even a flameless act gave the audience reasons to clap and cheer. Brady Ambrose and his sister even had a chance to become a part of the show.
I really like it and I got to bang knife together.
It's got comedy, juggling, volunteers, some crazy dangerous stuff. Yeah, it's pretty fun.
With axes, blindfolds, and glass walking, Nick Pike proves that a little fear makes for a great show.
It's not just the juggling, you have to have the personality and the mixture of the comedy that makes the show, I guess.
Daisy Burrows, Winthrop Close Up.
To learn more about events on campus, check out the DeGiorgio Student Union at the website on your screen. Lights, military uniforms, and a runway, all the makings of a great salute to fashion and soldiers. Alexandria Savage gives us the scoop on Winthrop's Salute to Couture.
Fashion is a cutthroat industry, but Winthrop is helping students achieve their goals.
Over the past 3 months, we've been working with Winthrop on the Salute to Couture show.
We've worked with some of the ads for some of the other sponsors and just built that relationship, and it's an awesome relationship.
Thinking about what President Comstock wanted to do with the veterans and military members on our campus, we wanted to find our own way as artists to pay homage to the armed forces.
This fashion show is really awesome in how they incorporate fashion into a military lifestyle.
This fashion show is one of many events Winthrop holds to allow students interested in the field of fashion to flourish.
How a person dresses is an expression of who they are on the inside, and I really believe in empowering women, especially women, like everyone, but especially women, to dress how they feel.
Fashion is an expression of self, and these students feel that Winthrop is doing a great job to help them express themselves.
Winthrop is open to facilitating my passion for fashion.
When I found out that they actually made all of the gowns and all the wardrobe, I was blown away. And I got to see some of them making it. So to have that passion to sit down and go through all these different looks, it's not like they made 4 or 5 dresses. They made, what, close to like 50?
A lot of this has been very abstract, and now to be in the venue, be setting up, seeing the chairs and lights go up and the videos go up, it's just amazing.
And amazing doesn't begin to describe the leg up in the fashion industry Winthrop is providing these students. Alexandria Savage, Winthrop Close Up.
Fashion isn't the only way students are expressing themselves. The End It movement was the focus of the Social Work Club's benefit concert. I went to find out how this club helped the campaign through music.
Tonight was the End It benefit concert. All the money that was raised went towards the End It movement or the End It campaign. And the End It campaign is benefiting 10 different organizations that are working to end sex trafficking.
The free concert, held in Richardson Ballroom, showcased performances by students who volunteered their time for the event. And one performer says she really enjoyed it.
It was really awesome. I love doing volunteer stuff, and to be able to share my talents with people and have it go towards an awesome cause like the End It movement is just really, really awesome and inspiring, I feel.
Human sex trafficking strikes a bit closer to home than you might think. North Carolina is estimated to be in the top 8 states for sex trafficking, mainly because of the city of Charlotte.
The city's proximity to highways makes it easy to transport girls.
The concert was such a hit that there are even talks of having another one next year. One student says he really enjoyed the overall feel of the show.
And everyone who was there at the concert, made donations to get in, and so, it was just a great vibe about the whole concert.
So be sure to keep up with the End It movement. If you would like more information about the End It movement, you can visit www.enditmovement.org. That's all we have for arts and entertainment. Have the latest news and entertainment? Tweet us at Winthrop Close Up.
If you have any story ideas, you can send us an email at the address listed below.
And make sure you connect with us on all of your favorite social media sites. We'll see you next time on Winthrop Close Up.